everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the first ever video, so feeling slightly nervous, but bear with. What I'm going to talk about today is how to get into property and the books that have really helped me and my daughter to get our property business up and running. So some of you might know that last year, myself and my daughter started a property business here in the UK. We went along to a crash course by the brilliant Samuel Leeds and learned all about property and how you can get started with very little of your own money. And then I get a lot of people asking me to recommend books and other advice that I can give in terms of how you can get into it. So what I wanted to do was basically just do a video where I get the top 5 books, and I have looked at lots of books because I'm a voracious reader, but I just wanted to recommend to you some of the books that really helped me in terms of getting to know the property business and then building a portfolio that really works. So I'm going to go through the top 5 in reverse order, so it's going to be a little bit like a chart, but just in case you don't make it to the end of the video, here are the 5 books that you can see, and I'm going to go through each of them in terms of what's good, what's bad. If you want to have a chance to win one of the books, I am actually going to be doing a prize draw and picking names out of the hats that you can win the book. So if in the description below you go onto my website, you would be able to put your email details in, and then you'll have a chance to win one of the books. Okay, so without further ado, so in 5th place I've got this one here. Bear in mind all of these top 5 books are very good, and I've read all of them through, or at least I've listened to them through Audible. So Property Investment Hacking is by John Wilson. Now John's background is IT and digital marketing, so if you're into your technology and using the technology to generate leads, then this is definitely the book for you. So he talks very much about how to position your property website, what sorts of wording to use in your website, and just basically how to get the edge online in terms of getting property leads. So that's a really good book to go for. The 4th book that I'm going to cover is very relevant to myself and my daughter at the moment, because we're literally just buying our first HMO. HMO is House of Multiple Occupation. So if you're buying a house to rent out to multiple people and maybe it needs some work, which a lot of them do if you're putting in en suites, or you're making other changes, or you're turning downstairs reception rooms into bedrooms, then this book is absolutely brilliant in terms of the renovation. Now, I listened to this on audiobook. The voice is a little bit sleepy, I'm not going to lie, but the content is absolutely amazing, and the level of detail that they go into in terms of the costings, how you can keep the costings down, and just all of those little details that you want to find out, I found absolutely brilliant. So if you do get it on audiobook, just ignore the voice, bear with, and get to the end, okay? So HMO, Property Renovation and Refurbishment Success, by Nick Fox and Richard Leonard, who are both very, very experienced property landlords and project managers in terms of refurbishment. Okay, on to a book that's in 3rd place. Bear in mind, all of these books are absolutely amazing, yeah, because they're my top 5. This one's called Property Magic, and it's by Simon Zucchi, who actually runs the PIN network. So in the UK, there's a very popular property investors network called PIN. So Simon runs those, and this is a really, really good book. I had this on audiobook, and the thing that I would say is great about this book as well is that Simon updates it regularly for new content, things like new products or just new mortgage information, etc. And just in terms of how the economy is doing generally, Simon updates it for that, which is really, really good. So I would say this is a really good book, particularly if you're a beginner. It's kind of got everything in it you need. Talks very much about when to buy, which I think is key, especially with lots of things like Brexit and things like that going on, which are scaring off quite a few investors. Simon talks about that quite a bit in his book, so definitely one to check out. That's Property Magic by Simon Zucchi, okay? Now I've got 2 books left, Buy Low, Rent High and The Complete Guide to Property Investment. So which one is going to be the number 2 and the number 1? Tricky, but I'm going to go with this one. So in the number 2 spot is The Complete Guide to Property Investment, How to Survive and Thrive in the New World of Buy-to-Let, and it's by Rob Dix. Again, I had this on audiobook. I really enjoyed it. Rob is quite funny actually, so the way that he writes is quite funny. And he's also a bit geeky. In fact, I think his website is called something like Property Geek. I'll try to remember to put the details in the description. But one of the things I love about Rob Dix is he likes a good spreadsheet. A bit like myself, you know, when you're getting into property, you've got to know your numbers, and Rob is a man who is all over the numbers. So I really like that about this book. He's very diligent in terms of his approach to getting into property and also looking at deals. The other reason I think this is very good for beginners is if you are not sure what it is that you're trying to get out of property, Rob goes through different strategies depending on how much money you've got, how much time, how much effort you want to put into it, and he kind of breaks it down right up front in terms of if you're trying to achieve X, Y, and Z, then you need to do this. If you want ABC, then you need to do that. And actually, I think for somebody that's just starting out, that's thinking, okay, I want to create this passive income source, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to start. I think some of the advice in this book is key. And it's a really good place to start, just in terms of being really clear about what your strategy is, how much money you've got, and how much time you've got to actually put into property. So a very close second, Complete Guide to Property Investment by Rob Dix, and check out Property Geek as well, which is the podcast and the website. And then in first place, so probably no surprise to you, obviously myself and my daughter, we got into property on the back of the Crash Course by Samuel Leeds. And this book, and again, I got the audiobook, as I think I've said before, it's a bit like having Samuel Leeds in your pocket. Buy Low, Rent High is really Samuel's journey in terms of how he got into property. And I think the reason I chose this as my #1 book is because, as well as having lots of information for beginners, so if you're just starting out in property, you don't know where to go, where to turn, lots of information around getting into it, what to look for, the different types of property strategy, but more importantly, and I think probably more than all of the others that I reviewed today, there is a lot just around motivation. So I actually found this book very, very motivating. I'm very big into taking action as well. So as much as I read lots, I like to read and then put it into practice. And basically, this book, and certainly the audiobook in particular, is very, very motivating, because at the end of the day, you can read as many books as you want to about property. The way to get into it is to get out there and just do it. And this is the book that will really motivate you to actually get out and put into practice what you've actually read. So that's basically it. That's my top tips in terms of 5 books if you're thinking about getting into property. So as I said before, if you want to win the books, go onto my website and leave your email details, and I'll put your name in a hat, and then they'll get pulled out and you'll win one of the books. If you've liked what you've seen, subscribe to the channel, like it. There will be more of this in terms of me sharing books that I found really inspirational, motivational, and then lots more about how to change lives and how to make a bigger difference in the world. So thank you very much for watching my first video. Subscribe and like, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye. Hi everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is the first ever video that I'm recording, so feeling a little bit, so I just said record.